elected officials learning and understanding how to put the community first.
Hello and welcome to Keeping It Real with Shannon. Tonight we're going to be talking about finance and fame because we have to get our children ready to become wealthy and become young entrepreneurs. And our special guest tonight has come aboard to tell us how we can do that.
We definitely have a special guest tonight, and we can't wait to hear what she has to say. Our special guest tonight is Lisa McCorville. Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, has a master's degree in urban studies from Queens College City University. While working full-time, she volunteered as an instructor for Operation Hope Financial Literacy Empowerment Youth Program, going to New York City public schools and teaching their financial programs to students. She is the founder of BookMe Foundation, which is books offer opportunities, knowledge, and mega exposure, a 501c3 nonprofit that provides literacy programs and encourages enjoyment for independent reading and learning for inner city youth. She continuously works to encourage and support the visions and goals of those around her. Let's welcome Lisa to the show.
Hello, Lisa.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm so great. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for taking the time to come. We're honored to have you. And we want to learn more about this book that you have written for young people, The Battle of Finance and Fame. Because we know it's important to start our children and our young people, on the road to how to make money and not have to work all their life like we did. So tell us about your book.
All right. Everybody knows that the book is titled The Battle of Finance and Fame. It's a financial novel and guide for young adults and teenagers. And it's a unique combination of fact and fiction, which features a boy's financial journey in his pursuit of becoming a well-known hip-hop artist. So that's a little short synopsis of what the book is about. The reason I chose to write a book is because my goal from the beginning is to empower. It was my goal from the beginning of the idea to now. And the reason I chose to incorporate or express personal finance through a story is because stories have always been a powerful learning and communication tool, right? Stories help us to understand where we come from and what we aspire to be. And with that in mind, it was my mission to create an illustrating story that humanizes basic financial concepts. So that was the purpose of writing this story.
So we all know youth can be challenging. Right?
Yes.
So how do we begin the narrative to talk about finance?
Well, we have to start having the conversations. And a lot of times the conversations are not being had at home, and personal finance is not taught in school. So what other ways can we think of to incorporate personal finance into young people's lives? So my idea was to incorporate it through a story with relatable characters. I mean, we all navigate towards people with stories that are similar to ours. And I wanted to do it in an entertaining format. So we just have to start having the conversations. This book was created to start the conversation, to be used as a conversational tool. And so even if you're not having it with your parents, they can just pick up the book and read it on their own. And they can relate to the characters.
Because that's at least one thing we all have in common is money.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Yes. And we don't have the basic understanding. We're not grasping it. And that's what I was having difficulty with. And when I started to get myself out of that financial bind, I'm saying to myself, wow, a lot of us, including me, just don't know or don't understand how to read our credit cards. We don't even understand how to read our paychecks. We take our money, we pay our credit cards. We don't understand that some portions of the money is going towards the principal, is going towards the interest. We just don't know the basics. We don't understand our credit scores. We don't understand how to budget and manage money.
Mhm.
Those are just the basics. And there are different levels of personal finance. But if you can't get on it from the ground level, we will never be able to move up the ladder.
So
Absolutely.
Lisa, now
Hmm?
even though as the older generation as we are, like, you know, we weren't taught back in the day because a lot of times our parents didn't know what to tell us. But now that we know better, could you like give maybe like some specifics as how we would start talking to our kids from a young age? I know, you know, we can start telling them about putting a little money in the piggy bank and all of that kind of stuff, which is good. And then, you know, another stage, we teach them something else. How do we start this conversation? And what are some things that we need to be doing with our children to get them on the road to thinking that this is important, that you do save money regardless
Right.
that you save money?
Well, right now, we are facing a pandemic,
Mhm.
and a lot of people lost their jobs. And we couldn't get from point A to point B. So we can use this pandemic as an example of how important it is to start saving money, to start having 3 to 6 months of living expenses to cover for, you know, for our emergencies. So we can use this pandemic as an example.
Mm-hmm.
We all been affected by it. Every
Mm-hmm.
age, every level, we see it on the news. So we can start having those type of conversations and using certain things as an example. What if, you know, mommy or daddy lost their job? How will we pay for the light? How will we pay for our rent? How will we pay for our food? So we can just start off these real life situations and use those as examples. But we also must talk about and teach them the importance of integrity, being honest with yourself, being honest with others, because that's where it starts. We also have to start with authenticity, being comfortable with who you are. You don't have to be like others to fit in. So we have to show the importance of those, you know, those things as well. Not just managing money, but also managing behavior.
Right. But you know
Well,
what?
yeah, it's fun. Oh, go ahead, Vanessa.
You know, it's sad. I'm sorry to say it's sad that we have to use the pandemic
Mm-hmm.
to integrate and be part of a system that's working exactly how it's been designed to work. It's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
components to this situation that we have when we specifically think about Black and brown communities and generational debt. So it's been happening long before the pandemic. But I agree, it's no time better than now to even start the narrative. But it's very important to not just teach kids how to save money, but also teach them what the importance of how they spend their money, how they
Mm-hmm.
spend the money, and what's important, what's a want versus a need.
Right. Right.
But also too, I mean, I'll probably get in trouble for saying this, but you know, I have to keep it real and just tell it like it is. Now, I'm tired of us always using excuses of why these things are happening to us.
Right.
We can do better. We can do better because now we know better. We didn't
Right.
know better before, but we
Right.
can teach the next generation. Like I said, starting from young, saving money in the piggy bank. When they get a little bit older, they can open up an account. Now, we just opened up an account for my granddaughter, who's 7. She has her own little bank card now where she can go to the ATM and
Mhm.
take out her little money and
Mhm.
whatever she wants. So we are teaching her that now, even though she don't want to spend her money, because she said, why should she have to spend her money if she goes to the restaurant or she wants something from the store? No, you want that toy? Then you buy that toy. You want to you
Absolutely.
go to the restaurant? Then no, you take out your little card and you give it to them and pay for what you were eating. So she has to understand, okay, I'm getting money because people give me money, so I put it in the account or whatever, but you still can spend some of the money that you put in that account. So I'm just saying we can start teaching them at an early age of
Yes.
how to save and you know how to go to the bank and take out money, how to write a check. Because who knows, we might get sick one day and can't write the check ourselves, and the child
Exactly.
can write the check for you or go to the bank and get the money for you. You know what I'm saying? We have to start teaching our kids. And let me tell you, if these kids can take these cell phones and teach you how to use the cell phone, don't tell me you can't teach them how to become wealthy. Like if I
That's
know
true,
what I
Lottie.
know now,
Listen,
I won't
that's
be
true.
talking about tonight. because I'd be laying on my yacht somewhere. But I didn't know that back then.
And they're never too young.
Just like you said, your 7-year-old granddaughter, right? She doesn't want to use her money. So now we can incorporate, okay, we're going to budget. I'm going to show you how to budget. You have a certain amount of dollars that you saved up. You want this toy. It costs $10. You have $100. Okay, you take your $10 and now you have $90. We can that's a simple way of incorporating a budget plan. So now you're teaching her how to budget. Those little simple things, these little everyday things that we can actually do to start having these type of narratives and these type of conversations.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying about starting with the little account, because like I fuss all the time when Christmas comes. They go out and buy all of these toys and stuff for the kids, and they don't play for pay. They don't even play with the toys. They'll pick one out that they want to play with, and the rest is just sitting around. Nothing is happening to them. And for what? I say, like I would tell my granddaughter sometimes, like when your birthday and stuff come, say I don't want a toy, say, could you please give me money? Because that way you can take your money and put it in your account. If you have a birthday party, you can put on the card, monetary gift. It could be $5, $3, $2. It doesn't matter. Rather than buying a toy.
I know how to solve that problem.
What?
A lot of parents don't know that they need to hire their kids, right? Give them a reasonable salary, let them buy their own things. So what they don't pay for, they don't get.
Right.
Simple as that.
Exactly.
Stop spending money on Christmas and birthday cards in private school and sports. You pay the kids and let them pay for their own things, and that way at the end of the year you get your money back.
Right.
Exactly. But so that's another workshop that we have to do with the parents and telling them how to hire their kids, because I'm sure they not quite understand what you mean hire your kids. So that's another conversation. You got to come back and tell them how to do that, because you still can hire them without having the business, because really if they do chores around the house, you can get them $5 or $10 for doing chores, even though we can get paid for doing chores.
We sure did not.
Today, this is a way of showing them how they can make money. They do chores around the house. You give them $2, $3 or whatever. They put it away in their account and stuff like that. So at least this way they can see they're getting money coming in. But if you always want to buy them everything, they don't appreciate what you buy them anyway.
No, they don't.
But Ronnie, we're going to have to hold this thought, because soon we got to take a break and bring it back.
We'll be right back.
It's Shannon. It's Shannon.
What's more dangerous? A man who isn't afraid of death, or one who's found everything to live for? I asked him if he was proud of me. He emphatically said yes, as he laid his pecan-colored head on my chest, and I went through my mind 1,000 times to figure out what that could possibly mean, and every single example ended in motivation for me. So you may not be afraid to die, but I'm more afraid to let them down. And I found something to live for, which is a dangerous motive forever fueled. See, your thoughts may be involuntary, but my actions are very calculated. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. My sons ain't raised by no coward, and they won't be one either. If this be the measure of a man, the yardstick gonna need way more meters. I take it too far, so they never come up short, because I found everything to live for.
Hi, we're back, and today we're talking about finance and fame and how to get our children to start thinking about saving money and becoming wealthy, so they don't have to work a 9-to-5 job like we did. Which is nothing wrong with a 9-to-5 job, because you're still getting paid and everything. But it's easier now to make money. But seriously, as I said before, I want us to stop using these excuses all the time about why we can't do anything. We can do a lot of things if we put our mind to do it. And then also it's how determined you are to do it. If you're lazy and don't want to work to do anything, then you're not going to have any money, and stop blaming everybody else.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
Well,
pick up a book and read.
well, well, Lisa, you know what they say, right? You want to hide something for someone, put it in the book, right? Ain't nobody hiding it. But you know what? I just want to add that the importance of teaching kids from at a young age, because you know the millennials and how the systems is going on now. There may not be no social security, there may not be no pensions. Right. A lot of jobs are doing away with pensions. Some people are working in places where there's no pension. And there are a lot of people like the millennials are not staying long enough into a job to receive a pension. Exactly. So this is a way in the early stage where they can at least create a pension for themselves, because those that retire today, 5-10 years from now, they can't afford the cost of living is going to be up.
Exactly.
So today is the time.
Right. It's not even saving money at the bank, because really you can't save money at the bank. Let me tell you, I got my statement and it had down there 2 cents. I said, what is that? Truthfully, I thought it was a mistake. So I had to call the bank and ask them, like, what is 2 cents? Is this 2 cent interest? So you put your money in the bank and this is all you getting is 2 cents. Like, we don't need to put our money in the bank now. We need to be investing in some kind of annuity or some kind of investment portfolio or something. That's what we got to do.
Stuff like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we got to start from somewhere. And even though the local banks don't give you a lot of interest, you have a lot of online bank credit unions. They do give more return on your money than the local bank. So that's another avenue that can be explored. Mm-hmm. As also, they
can also, I think they go to is it bankrate.com? They can go to bankrate.com and find the best interest rate to get the most bang for their buck.
So that's what I'm saying. So whatever little money they save, once they get a certain amount, they start investing in some kind of annuity, or just imagine if kids start investing in their teens. Just imagine how much money they could make by the time they get our age and something like that. Right. But if we don't tell them and show them, all they want to do is spend. And there's nothing wrong with buying what you want. You know what I'm saying? If you working and you want to buy them Jordan sneakers for $300 and $500, oh, well and good. But if you notice, most of the time when the kids start working, they won't spend that money for those sneakers and stuff. Because what do they say? Well, if I get that, I won't have any money left.
Exactly.
But you know what? To add to that, since you want to talk about having kids invest, right? Let them invest in the products that they use. Everybody nowadays have an Apple phone, a Mac.
Nice sneakers.
Exactly. So everybody should be invested and have shares in the things that they own.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
This is what I'm saying. So that's what they say. Anything that you wear, sneakers, anything. That's what we should have stocks in.
Exactly. Even the household products that we use.
Whose fault is that going on?
I don't know. I'm not the guilty one.
Is somebody calling us? Is somebody trying to get to us?
I don't know. We got a live phone service. I don't know.
Do they want to give us some money?
They want to donate to the cause.
You know what I wanted to research? Remember years ago when we were kids, they had the savings accounts in schools. Remember that?
Yes.
No, do you remember?
Lisa, yes, we had one. I had one. Yes.
Dr. Vanessa, you didn't have one?
No. You didn't have one? We had one. They had it in school. Yes, I remember that.
I didn't have one.
But did you know about it?
No, I'm just hearing first time hearing about it now.
See, that's the problem, Lisa. They took about everything out of the school that benefited anything.
Well, the purpose of that, right? By them taking finance out of the school, it's because they wanted to teach thinkers. I mean, they wanted to teach workers, not thinkers. So this is why finance is no longer in the schools.
Right. And like you said, now that's why we have this gap, right?
Yes, it's that wealth gap.
Yeah.
But parents also have to reach out, because you might not know, but reach out to someone that does know, information that you don't know. We got to start networking with each other. See, that's the problem. Nobody wants to network with each other. And then people have to learn to share what information they have. If you have information that can benefit me or someone else, then share it with that person. If you
Right.
know something that can happen with kids, like if some kind of program comes up for young people, whatever, then share that program so this way those kids can apply for that scholarship or that program or what. I find out that we don't like to share information with each other.
You're right.
Mhm.
You are absolutely right. People are afraid that you're going to catch up to them.
But that's the
That's
idea.
They don't want you to pass them.
It's
But that's
terrible.
the idea.
It's-
Because I mean, it's not even with the young people getting making money. It's also for us adults to make money too. You know what I'm saying? We have ways of making money now because it's out there. So there's no reason to say you can't make money now because you can.
Right.
So
Right.
you gotta stop blaming the next man and the next woman or why you can't make that money and stuff like that. What is you say getting financially free? Are we financially free because we're buying stuff that we don't need?
You're absolutely right.
Absolutely. And the thing is, I mean, I agree. I think the one of the things that all the stimulus checks and all this other thing, that's just it's just a breathing
Temporarily. Mhm.
you know, for people not to do things. And I know people may say, "Oh yeah, well, people trying to work." No, they're not.
Right.
None of that. They're not working as hard as they're trying to work. And the thing is, the caveat to that is that when everything opens up and they try to find a job, those who was now looking for the job, getting hired, is taking those jobs that they don't want to go back to. So now you're
Exactly.
really not going to have unemployment or the stimulus check, and now you're going to be like out.
Mhm.
You know.
A lot of people got comfortable because those what you call the unemployment checks. There was more
Yes.
money than their paychecks. So now they
Absolutely.
got comfortable.
Well,
Yeah,
what's going
too
to happen when the
comfortable.
money runs out? They're going to stop the money.
They're not
They
thinking
have our head. They're not thinking like that. They're thinking for the moment, and that's the
Right.
problem. They're
Right.
thinking for the moment. I mean, look at the statistics, right? You know, we're 95% consumers and own nothing. We have a buying power of $3 trillion. And what do you own? You
Right.
still struggling through a pandemic that you need 3 to 6 months of savings for emergency fund, residual fund. I'm telling you, part of the problem is that, like you said, Lottie, people don't network. But at minimum, everyone needs at minimum 9 streams of income. And it's doable. Everybody has something to offer.
Mhm. Well, let me tell you, if you didn't wake up during the pandemic, then I don't know what's going to happen. No, I'm seriously. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I really
Right.
woke up during the
It's
pandemic
true.
because my thing was, I would always say money because my father always told me since I was 14 years old. He said, anytime you get paid, you put away $5 or $10 or whatever. You make sure you put away something. So that's always been instilled in me. But the pandemic, I was shut up. Then I was shut in, so it gave me plenty of time to think. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
had to really reflect and think about what you were doing. And since I couldn't go anywhere to spend any money, I was saving money, and all of a sudden I had money. And I was like, oh my God, I don't understand. I have money. You know, where I didn't have the money before because I was too busy socializing and going here and going there, buying it. Stuff like sometimes I didn't even need, but I like to socialize. See, I like to socialize. So I
Right.
didn't have a problem spending $100 for a ticket to go somewhere. But now, since I haven't been socializing, I realize now I didn't really have to do all of that socializing. I can go every now and then and socialize or whatever. I can go and buy, the outfit or some shoes every now and then or whatever like that. Because I think you still should treat yourself. You understand what I'm saying? You should treat yourself because you're working, but just buying stuff because you can buy it. Now I realize I don't need all of that stuff. So I can put away money now. So if something happened again, I might not have enough income for a whole year, but I don't have to be worrying for the first 2-3 months or something like that. Because now I realize now I didn't need all of that stuff that I was buying. I really didn't.
Well, you know what,
Because
Lisa?
you understood what's really important.
Yeah, Lisa, in your book,
Hmm?
what are the
Mhm.
lessons learned for the characters, for the creative characters of the book?
Hmm. Well, we have characters in a book. I have characters in a book that illustrate managing money
Mhm.
and illustrate managing behavior. I'm really big on that because I don't care if you have the skills to manage money. If you can't manage your behavior, then the skills is null and void. We have characters in there illustrating how to save, how to read their paychecks, also understanding their FICO score, their credit score. You know that's relevant, right? That's our power. That's more powerful than having money.
Yes.
So we go into that, and then behind each chapter, we have questions, and then we have the definitions. And the questions make you think. The questions actually make you think. So when this book was designed, it was designed in such a way where it could be read independently at leisure or incorporated into a curriculum being taught by instructors.
Mhm.
But most importantly, my hope is that this book empowers and inspires a curiosity, right, for a deeper understanding of personal finance. I want the reader to enjoy the read, but I also want them to enjoy the entire process of managing money. Managing money is not difficult. It's only when things are foreign to us, that's when it seems out of reach and out of touch. But I want this book and this story to illustrate that managing behavior and managing money is attainable for all at any age and at any level.
The name of Lisa's book is The Battle of Finance and Fame.
Yes, and also I just want to point this out. FAME is really an acronym for freedom, assets, mindfulness, and empowerment.
All right.
And you can get it on Amazon, or either you can get it from Lisa directly. You can get it from her. But the thing about it is, I'm glad that you took the time to write a book like this for young people, because young people should, get it and read it. But like I said, even in the book, when you talk about the characters and, you set it up as to, how they didn't want to save, but then they changed their mind and saw how important it was to save. They see how important it is that a FICO score is important. But even today, people don't think it's important, because people just mess up their credit today and think it's okay not to pay your bills on time and stuff.
Right.
And then when you get ready to try to get something, you ain't gonna get anything because your credit is so bad. And if you know you're a person that can't pay your bills on time, then set it up where they take the money directly out of your account. And that way you don't have to worry about having a bad credit, because now all your bills is going to be paid on time.
But they don't count on that.
Money in their account first, though.
Exactly. Okay, they don't count for that. They're not trying to pay anything. They just ain't trying to pay. They just want to use everybody's money. It's like people say other people's cooking tastes better than your own.
Yes.
Other people's money is better than spending your own.
Well, look, they better learn how to do something, because I'm telling you, if not, they're going to see where they're going to end up at. Because I know I don't want to end up outside, and I don't want to be in the dark. So hey, look, we have to end this part of the show. Lisa, I thank you, for coming on and talking about your book. So stick around for our after show. We're going to talk a little more in the after show. So if you was watching today, you have young kids, teenage kids, kids in their 20s. Sit down, talk to them, and start them on the road of how to manage money. Because in the long run, it will pay off from them, and you won't have to take care of them the rest of your life. Because I know you don't want to do that. I had no intentions of taking care of mine for the rest of the life, so I had to show her what to do. So thank you for watching today. I hope you got something out of the show. If you want to stick around for the after show, hope you do. So as always, we'll see you next time.
Today's show is sponsored by Abu's Bakery. If you have a sweet tooth, stop by Abu's Bakery for some delicious cakes and pies.
It's Shanna. 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 Keeping it real. It's Shanna. It's Shanna. It's Shanna.
Hey, we're back for our after show, and we want to continue talking to our special guest today, Lisa McCullough. She wrote a book, finance book, The Battle of Finance and Fame. And as we was talking in the first part of the show, Lisa, about how to get our kids on the right track. Now, look, you have done a good job here because your daughter Winter has just opened her business and events uh, a place to have events, birthdays, weddings, and that. And because that's what she wanted to do is to become an entrepreneur. So here
Mhm.
we have a young entrepreneur have started her place of having events and weddings. And look, this is what we're supposed to be doing. This is what we're
Exactly.
supposed to be doing as parents.
Exactly. She wanted to be an entrepreneur since junior high school. When you would ask her what did she want to be, she said, "I want to open up my own business." I would ask her what was it, and she said a restaurant. I didn't know why she wanted to open up a restaurant, but that's what she said. She did go to school. She graduated from Brooklyn College with a degree in science. Then she wanted to become a physical therapist. That changed after she graduated, and she still had it in her mind that she wanted to open up her own business. And then she decided she wanted to open up her own event space. Winter has been looking for a space for like 3 years, and she went through the process. She got her business name. She just started taking small steps. Business name. While she was working, while she was in college, she was saving up her money. She's a good saver. She was saving up her money, putting it away, putting it away. And then when the pandemic hit and everything shut down, she was unemployed. She lost her job. She was saving that extra $600 a month. I mean, she was putting it away. And she found her place in the summertime, and her doors opened in January. And I'm just extremely proud because I see and I saw the hard work this girl put in. She made sacrifices. She stopped going out. She stopped buying things. She put in the hard work, and she is really a prime example of it can be done if you set your mind to it.
Absolutely. So where can people find Winter's venue?
Her venue, it's located on she's on Instagram, Winter's Venue. And also it's in Ridgewood, Queens, Ridgewood, New York. I would post and put up the address. I don't have it on me, but I will put the address up. You can put it up later. But it's in Ridgewood, New York, and you can find Winter's Venue on Instagram.
Yeah, but see, that's good because people are always looking for somewhere to have it. If they're having an event at, or have a wedding, a birthday party, or something like that, and I mean, it's just great for her to even think about that, of
Yeah,
having something like that.
they spell the winter with a Y instead of an I.
Yeah. So we have to spread the word about that because you know what, like you said about her changing her mind a couple of times about what she wanted to do. That happens a lot of times. Sometimes you really don't know what you want to do at first. You think you might want to do that. Then you might want to do something else or whatever. Because I don't know how many times I changed my mind about what I wanted to do. Because one thing you want to do this, then the next thing you might say you want to do that. And then you might go through 3 or 4 things before it comes. Because whatever it is that you do, you have to be passionate about it. Because if
Yes.
you're not passionate about it, you are not going to work hard to do it or whatever. You have to be passionate about what you do.
Well, Lottie,
Like,
this goes.
go ahead. Yeah.
No, this goes to what you say about spreading the message, right? The word, a lot of things that go on through word of mouth, but it's also about supporting each other.
Exactly.
Not just about talking about it.
Exactly.
Supporting each other.
Exactly.
That's what's important.
Exactly. Exactly. And another thing too, so because we might have to make sure we tell Winter that, because I'm always talking about when we go to our business and stuff like that, is how they treat us. Like they'll say why we don't support our own. We don't support our own because sometimes they don't know how to treat us. When you come in with the attitude and all of that kind of stuff. So who's going to spend their money there if you got an attitude when I come and think you doing me a favor when I'm doing you a favor? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
No, for some reason we don't understand that when we in business. The customer comes first.
Absolutely.
Right.
And if there's a problem, you fix it with the customer. Don't be standing there arguing and fussing with it. How can I fix this? So when someone comes, you treat them nice, you sell your place, this is wonderful. There's no other place like my venue for you to come and have your wedding and, birthday party. You got to say yours is the best. So that way they'll come back. And then when they do come, make sure that they get the services they were supposed to get.
I got one short for that, Lottie. Your mouth can make or break any situation.
That's right.
Now, look, I don't have no problem telling. I go up to the window there and you treat me nasty. Oh no, I'm gonna let you know. That's why I tell them right quick. That's why nobody comes to your store or your restaurant because you don't know how to treat people or
But
whatever.
sometimes they act like they doing you a favor.
Exactly.
This is what I'm saying. I don't care if it's the gas station. If I pull up to get gas and you come, and especially to the ones that you know that they put the gas in themselves and stuff like that, when you finish, say thank you. Thank you for coming. You know, or whatever. Or something. Glad to see you today. Or, you know what I'm saying? Say something that make me want to come back.
Right.
You want money? You know the best. Let me tell you, the best publicity is word of mouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It ain't about putting all them ads in there. It's about if someone comes and they like what they see and you gave them good service, they would tell somebody else.
That's true.
And that's what I do. That's what I do. If I go to a restaurant and it's nice and the people in there was nice, I tell everybody I know, look, you need to go. You need to go to Vanessa's restaurant or something like that, you know, and let the people know that I sent you there or whatever, you know.
Yes.
That's the best way to go. Because if you treat people back, they're not coming back. They're not coming back. They're not coming back. And we have to teach our young people that too.
Absolutely.
Well, it goes back to managing behavior.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. But the behavior, I don't know where the behavior part comes in at. Why people behave. So then why would people behave that way then? If you in business, so why do you behave that way?
Well, you know, it must be some method to the madness. You know, while people grow up, the exposure, what has gotten them from point A to point B, it's some method to the madness. But I always tell people, you need to do something for something to do you. That's as simple as that.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Look, I just say, you know what? I mean, I thank God for everything so far that He has blessed me with, you know, and like I say, I had good parents, but they didn't know all this kind of stuff like we know now. All they know is to work hard, make sure you had a roof over your head, make sure you had clothes on your back, and make sure you go to school. They didn't know to tell us like what we can tell our children now. They didn't know that. I mean, some parents back then knew stuff because their parents taught them, but the most of us probably didn't. Our parents couldn't tell us a lot of stuff or whatever, you know. Because that's why I say like the stuff that I know now, I can pass it on, you know, to someone else. Because I mean, my time is running out now, so I mean, I don't have a whole lot of time to get rich, you know, unless I get it quick overnight or something. But I can teach somebody else how to.
But you rich in other ways, right? We all have to define wealth. What wealth means to me, it may mean something totally different, you know, to you. So I think each individual have to define what is financial freedom. What does it mean to you? What is wealth? What does that mean to you? You know, wealth could be, is your credit cards or your credit cards paid up? Can I take a vacation without having to borrow from Peter to pay Paul? Do I have at least 2 months of living expenses saved up for emergencies? What does wealth means to you? And it's different for everybody.
Well, the thing is, what type of wealth are you? Right? Because you got a financial wealth that deals with the money.
Right.
Then you got a social wealth that deals with status. Then you got that time wealth that deals with freedom. And then you got that physical health that deals with health. So what type of wealth are you?
Right. That's a good way of looking at it as well. Right. Exactly.
Well, are we supposed to have all of them?
No.
Well, health we don't have no control over. Health we don't have control over because we don't know what's going to happen to us during.
Well, we're talking about physical. That's part of physical. Physical wealth is related to health. Okay, because you know, one like I mentioned before, the minimum streams of income we should have is 9, right? Because one stream of income is hazardous to our wealth, right? So you got to think about things in the whole totality of what it is, because there's different types of wealth, and some people need to be honest as to where they fall in the spectrum, because we all have something in common, and that's wealth. But there's the haves and have-nots. Why are some people able to function and move on and have things where others are behind? It's a system to that.
So Vanessa, could you just name, say, maybe at least, because when you say, oh, we should have 9 incomes, when sometimes when people say 9, how can we have 9 incomes? Like, what kind of incomes, like you would say that we could have, that
Well,
we
I mean,
know we can have, that we know we can have?
well, for one thing, we all need to have multiple streams of income. So you always have the active and the passive income. You know, you have your salary, you have your 401, you have your savings, but everybody can offer something. What type? Everybody could be a consultant, right? So what kind of service or product can you provide? Income in real estate. That's a stream of income. Speaking, moderate speaker. Somebody who's doing hair, somebody's doing nails, somebody's babysitting, somebody's cooking.
Okay.
Those are multiple streams of income.
Oh, okay.
You just have to
Okay.
be creative and untap your inner energy and say, oh, I can make money off this.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
you provided a service or product.
All right.
Everybody can be an entrepreneur. Everybody can be a consultant.
Just don't look at it as going to work every day on a regular job.
Absolutely. Listen, Lottie, you know I retired 2 years ago. I'm doing more work now trying to help people get more money than when I had to work.
Exactly, because the thing about it is, you realize when you was working that you wasn't nothing but a robot rolling up every morning to get to work at this time and you leave at that time. It's almost like you being a robot. But
Well, I
you
didn't
know,
look at it like that.
huh?
I didn't look at it like that.
No, I'm just saying when you work like a 9 to 5
That
job or
was
8
you,
to
Lottie. It wasn't Vanessa.
Right. I said, I didn't look at it like that.
That was you, Lottie. It wasn't Vanessa.
Exactly. Right.
Well, she was like a robot too. She had to be to work at a certain time and all this kind of stuff.
No, but see,
Not like that. Say what I'm saying is, it's like, see, when you retire, you're on your own time. So you can make your own schedule.
mind, Lottie. You have to
Yes.
train your mind, right? So what I say that wasn't me, because people used to ask me, because you know my background. What are you doing? Doing X, Y, and Z, right? I say, you know what I say? I'm securing a pension.
Right.
Simple as that.
Right.
As simple as that. And then I can move on to the next phase.
Mm-hmm.
And this is it. And my whole MO now is to bring families to create generational wealth, to focus on building a legacy, building a dynasty, creating generational wealth. That's my goal now. I can't save the whole world, but if I can make a difference in 1 or 2 families, I can sleep at night. My job is done. But I'm putting the energy now to bring these families to the table to say, listen, get your together, and you got to do something for something to do you. And this is the time now. You may not have this opportunity again later on to have somebody spoon feed you and walk you through what you have to do.
Set up a trust fund, put all your stuff in a trust, leave it to someone, and then they take care of that trust, and then it goes on to the next child.
You see, Lisa?
To the next
You see,
child,
Lisa?
to the next
Ask
child.
Lottie. Wait a minute. Lisa.
Yes.
Ask Lottie who got her to get that trust.
No, I was talking about the trust.
Talking about it. Wait.
No, I didn't do it. No, I give credit where credit is due. I was talking about the trust years ago because the man had already talked to me about the trust years ago. But you know how we are. You know how we are. We keep saying, okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. You keep saying that, and you just don't do it. And then
you see how Lottie talk about
along, so she forces you to do it.
You see how Lottie talk about putting your foot somewhere? I had to put my foot there for that trust.
But what about a living will? Vanessa.
No.
Well, all of that'll be in the trust. See, when you talk to them about the trust, they put all of that in the trust. So I say, find out about a trust, how it works and everything, because that's the best way of making so you have a legacy.
A generation of
children, that's how that works. It's
but Lottie,
yes. We have run out of our after show time because there's always so much information that you can give out and stuff to people, and they need to know all of this stuff. So anytime that we can put it in there, we'll put it in there. It might not have nothing to do with the show, but at least they're getting something more than what they were getting with the show.
It's all relevant. This is all relevant.
So at least now go find out about how to put a trust together and everything, because that's important. So at least now in the after show, we learn about a trust. We learn about being a young entrepreneur, which is she'll make other people, young people, proud. So look, thank you for coming on, Lisa. Thank you for joining us again. Thank you for watching. We hope you've gotten something, out of the show tonight. And If not, you can always contact us to get more information or whatever, and we'll try to keep bringing you whatever information we have. So thank you again for joining us, and as always, we'll see you next time.
Bye.